Up on the second game of the day in Buffalo. 10th seed Missouri, 2nd seed West Virginia. Let's take you there live. Gus Johnson and Len Elmore.
All right, welcome to Buffalo, New York. Second game of the day out of the East region. 10th seeded Missouri taking on 2nd seeded West Virginia. And the bracket in the East. The winner of this game advancing to take on Washington, who knocked out Steve Alford, and 3rd seeded New Mexico. A look at the lineups. Keep your eye on Keith Ramsey. He had 28 and 4 assists in their first round matchup with Clemson. Meanwhile, for West Virginia, Kevin Jones, huge game, 17 points and 8 boards off 8 of 10 shooting in their 77-50 win over Morgan State. Your officials, Burr, Shows, and Natilli. Today's game is brought to you in HD TV by LG. Life's good. Bob Huggins, the head coach at West Virginia, coaching his alma mater in his 3rd season, and he's gotten this West Virginia team to a high level very quickly. Mike Anderson, similar situation in his 4th season. Last year they advanced to the Elite 8. They're trying to make this a repeat performance as the Mountaineers control the tip. And what should we pay attention to early?
Well, Missouri will look to live up to their billing as the fastest 40 minutes in basketball. They'll want to push the pace. In West Virginia, they want to control tempo to keep their formidable front line in the game.
Ebanks with the crossover dribble down the lane. The runner off the back rim and in. Devin Ebanks, what a sweet basketball player. And with his size and ability to handle the ball in the open court, Huggins will look to him to help control the tempo.
Yeah, Ebanks will be key versus the Missouri pressure. He can handle it. As you mentioned, he's got the size to see over the double team, as opposed to the Clemson guards who Missouri beat on Friday, not able to really look over the doubles, not really able to get clear looks to outlet passes.
Mountaineers want to speed up. Excuse me, the Tigers want to speed up the Mountaineers. Here's Jones on the baseline, draws a double. Butler deep. And a rebound goes to West Virginia's Smith. Mountaineers 28 and 6 on the season. Backdoor, Butler blocked out of bounds.
Well, again, you talk about the fastest 40 minutes in basketball. You take a look at what they were able to do against Clemson. You know, either met or exceeded their season numbers, and that turnover differential, that's efficiency right there. Missouri only turning the ball over 9 times while forcing 20 from Clemson.
Butler deep in the corner. Big East Conference Tournament Player of the Year, 1st team all Big East. Deshaun Butler, and West Virginia off to a quick start. Taylor, he turns it over.
We can talk about pressure all you want, but Missouri not able to set up their pressure defense unless they score. And therein lies the rub. 7-game win streak for West Virginia. They've allowed opponents only 60 points a game.
Butler again for 3. And it's a very important point. West Virginia has been known to get off the slow starts. Not the case here. They were down 10-0 to Morgan State in their first game and then blew them out. English and Kimmy English, who had 20 points in their first round win against Morgan, hits his first shot.
Yeah, I think West Virginia very cognizant of the fact that they can't start 0 for 11 in this game.
And a foul on the backcourt. And this will go against Keith Ramsey. So Mike Anderson, his mentor, the great Nolan Richardson, won a national championship, went to a couple of Final Fours at Arkansas as an assistant, played for Nolan at Tulsa with Paul Pressey, his college roommate. Pressey's son will be going to Missouri next year.
And he had a chance to see the West Virginia method of breaking the pressure, leaving a big back there, Deshaun Butler, so he can see over the doubles, and then getting into Devin Ebanks so he can bring it into the front court.
Chuck Bryant, sophomore point guard out of Brooklyn, New York. He's got to be very careful with the ball. He's a shooting point guard, but is really learning how to play the traditional position. Ebanks to the basket, and he's fouled. So some high seeds have lost in this tournament thus far.
And you take a look, there's huge surprises. All 4 of them going down a lot earlier than anybody would have expected. And the Kansas loss, if you told me that you had Northern Iowa beating Kansas, I'd say, what part of Iowa are you from? Because that's doing it with your heart, not with your head. But hats off to Northern Iowa. Tremendous gutsy performance.
So Ebanks at the line, and you had a chance to see his stats: 16 points, 13 rebounds. He was 8 of 8 from the free throw line, 4 of 11 from the free throw line, from the field rather, against Morgan State. Also had a couple of blocks in 29 minutes.
Well, he came into this game kind of slumping a little bit, but as you mentioned, you know, he was on the mark against Morgan State, and that's all you need is one game to get you back on track. Ebanks so supremely talented for a guy his size at 6'9", can handle, can shoot it, can take you inside.
They beat the Bears 77-50. Won the Big East Conference tournament, beating Georgetown in the finals. Inside, knocked away, picked up Tiller, and they find Bowers.
Well, one thing Missouri will not do is quit on a play. Constant hustle. That characterizes their approach.
Butler gets it over the line, finds Bryant down the lane with the left hand, the runner. Loose, picked up by Kim English. Here comes English from Baltimore, Maryland. Tiller hard down the lane on the bounce and a foul.
Well, Deshaun Butler has helped get West Virginia off to a good start. We talk about his ability at his size to knock down shots. Expect him to do it inside, but he's also a guy that can step beyond the arc, 35% on the season.
First free throw for Tiller, no good. Tiller, a terrific defensive player. A lot of versatility on this Missouri team.
They call him the Tasmanian Devil because of his frenetic pace and constant movement of hands and arms while on defense in this Missouri pressure scheme.
Now they'll set up the press. Butler in the backcourt, Bryant the inbounder to Smith. They squeeze him on the sideline. And here comes Truck.
And as you notice, it's always a big that comes back there to help the guards against the press.
Zaire Taylor guarding Butler. Bryant, Jones, no. Rebounded by Ramsey.
And that was a perfect example of speeding West Virginia up. Jones, that pass was behind him as he was moving a little bit too quickly.
Ebanks, he'll rake it and take it into the front court. Spins, lost it, out of bounds. 15:46 to play in the first half. West Virginia with a 3-point lead. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Greg Gumbel, Greg Anthony, and Seth Davis will take you out for a live look at all the action going on in the NCAA tournament, and they will get you caught up on all the latest tournament news. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. Gus Johnson, Len Elmore with you. Buffalo, the site, Missouri and West Virginia, East Region, the winner to advance to Syracuse, New York. The West Virginia Mountaineers have been smoking, folks. They've won 7 in a row, including the Big East tournament, to get that #2 seed. Some felt that they were deserving of a #1 seed.
Well, right now, the proof is in the pudding. It doesn't really matter, as we know, with Kansas. You still got to play this game.
Jones, the baseline turnaround jump shot, softly off the window.
And right now, with about 4.5 minutes that have passed in this game, good sign for West Virginia. 0 turnovers against this Missouri pressure.
And Missouri's the kind of team they can really make you turn the ball over. Against Clemson in the first game, 20 turnovers for the Clemson Tigers, and Missouri turned it over only 9 times. And the winner here takes on Washington. Isaiah Thomas, Quincy Pondexter, Lorenzo Romar has his team playing some great basketball. During the postseason, they were on the bubble, but won the Pac-10 tournament. Meanwhile, JT Tiller knocks down a 15-footer. And we have a 3-point game. Here's the press. Butler in the corner. And jump ball, the call. That's a turnover. And Missouri will get it back.
Well, we talked about the activity of Missouri's hands, and no matter where you put the ball, they're going after it. Deshaun Butler puts it right in Keith Ramsey's face, and Ramsey didn't miss the opportunity to get his hands on it.
English, Ebanks with the rebound. Outlet pass to Bryant, and he'll pull it back.
And you see West Virginia not necessarily willing to run and take advantage of, say, 3-on-2 breaks. Certainly 2-on-1, you got to exploit that. But West Virginia more willing to play that half court as opposed to taking the advantage breaks with more numbers.
Zaire Taylor called for the foul. He's Mr. Big Shot for Mizzou. He's hit a number of game winners this season and during his career. Butler in the corner. Nice diagonal pass to Ebanks. Ebanks guarded by Kim English. Thurman is checked in the game for the Mountaineers.
Missouri in their matchup 2-3.
Smith inside off the dribble. 11-foot good.
You know, they're allowing cutters to go through and then switching. But they got to be able to pressure the ball. The passes are leading a high percentage shots for West Virginia.
English turns the corner and he's knocked out of bounds. No, they say he just tripped. Kim English says that he was pushed out of bounds.
Well, it's so important to determine whether he went out on his own or not. And it looked like he stepped on the foot as opposed to being tripped. And that may be a major distinction because a trip of the ball handler is what we call in the law strict liability. Doesn't matter whether you intended to or not.
Spoken like a true Harvard lawyer. Marcus Denman is checked in the game. He wears number 12 for Mizzou. Talented young player from Kansas City at 8 points in the first game. Thurman, nice slip to the basket.
Cam Thurman, known to be a rugged front court player in there to play physical basketball. Anytime he can score, it's a bonus.
(15-8) West Virginia with the lead here in the first half. And the Mountaineers 6 of 10 from the field. That's 60% shooting. Missouri 3 of 7. And the bigs not really getting into it so far. Bowers and Ramsey for Mizzou.
Well, the way those guys get into it for Missouri is in transition. You know, outstanding athletes, they run the floor. But Missouri only forcing 1 turnover, getting 0 points off of those turnovers. This is a team that gets 30% of their scoring from points off turnovers. So right now, West Virginia firmly in control of this tempo because they're taking care of the ball.
They run the weave up top. Denman was very good off the dribble. Bowers looks backdoor. Tiller, great catch. And the Tigers almost throw it away. Now a sub coming in, Michael Dixon. Freshman from Kansas City, Missouri Player of the Year, Mr. Basketball last year. And he has blinding quickness.
Well, he's in the game right now. A freshman trying to give Mike Anderson some fresh legs out there. Trying to find the right combination that's going to start applying pressure to West Virginia, trying to speed them up.
Denman off the mark, but that ball tipped up and in. Looked like Bowers got a hand on it.
And you see Bowers guarding the inbound pass, that left arm tape. He's got some ligament damage there. This is not his shooting hand, so it gives him an opportunity to continue to play.
Now Bryant, guarded by Dixon. Thurman. Butler pops out on the wing. 10 to shoot. As Ebanks backs it up. Now off the dribble with a basket. Off balance, no. Tapped out English. He's got Dixon in the front court. Nice catch, Dixon up and in.
Lightning quick transition. You take a bad shot, although the shot clock was running down, but off balance, and West Virginia didn't have the board covered. And Missouri will take advantage of those. You got to balance your floor.
We'll see if West Virginia is in shape. 40 minutes. Missouri prides itself on being able to play baseline to baseline the entire game. And usually they wear teams out that aren't in shape down the stretch. Butler posting up English. Now they roll it to him. Backdoor Smith, the teardrop off the heel, out of bounds, and will head the other way.
Again, we talk about lightning quick transition. You take a look right here. The guards are too busy watching. As Dixon, you mentioned before, as fast as they come in college basketball, he gets out on the break quickly, and his teammates are looking up the floor as soon as they get possession, and that's what you'll get from Missouri every possession.
Dixon brings it up now. He's even faster now. He cut off his braids to start the tournament. So that'll take a couple of tenths of a second off. Crossover to the basket. Up, oh, and in. And now West Virginia wants a timeout. They bring the freshman off the bench. The burner, 6-0 run, 1-point game.
Save $523. 16 minutes could save you 16%. Come on. Isn't it time an auto insurer gave it to you straight? That's why you should talk to State Farm. But not yet. First, talk to any one of the 40 million drivers who already have State Farm. 40 million. Yeah, that's more than Geico and Progressive combined. By a lot. 40 million drivers, more savings, and discounts up to 40%. Where else are you going to get discounts like that?
Call an agent at 1-800-STATE-FARM or go online.
April 8th through 11th, CBS Sports again proudly presents golf in its grandest glory. It can only be one place, a tradition unlike any other, the Masters from Augusta National. So Bob Huggins, also known as Huggy Bear. Most valuable player on his team when he was at West Virginia. He's coached in some places and always won. Akron, Cincinnati, Kansas State, and now West Virginia.
Call him Huggy Bear. I think the bear part came out in that huddle right there as he's trying to get his team to start playing some better defense.
Butler blocked by Bowers. Picked up Dixon. He's got Denman. Here comes Denman to the bucket. Offensive foul. Denman tried that Euro step. Nice job, though, by the Mountaineers to draw the charge. Butler blocked in the corner. 1-point game. Welcome back. Missouri, West Virginia, pretty even so far as we look at the game summary.
Although prior to the insertion of Michael Dixon from Missouri, West Virginia seemed to have this game pretty much in hand, under control, and Dixon came in, injected some energy. He's got 4 points. He's been on the floor for just 2 minutes.
So in the game, Joe Mazzulla, backup point guard for West Virginia. He was awesome in the first round against Morgan State. Had 5 points off the bench, controlled the tempo. But he has a major job on his hands now to get the Mountaineers into their stuff. Baseline, Kevin Jones.
And you see West Virginia using the big man, Cam Thurman, in the middle to be able to break the pressure. And Thurman with a nice delivery to Deshaun Butler. And that helps also control the tempo as you slow it down, as you get the ball in the middle and Missouri has to retreat.
18-14, Zaire Taylor. Denman, Ramsey, Dixon. Now Dixon looking inside for Steve Moore. Moore just coming in off the bench, 8 to shoot. Denman can break down the defense. Kicks it out, Dixon 3. Count it. This little guy came to play today. Michael Dixon, 7 points already. West Virginia up by a penny. Ebanks. Thurman flashing. He's a good passer from here. Knocked away. He gets it again. Baseline, Butler, quick release. Again.
And once again, Deshaun Butler in the corner. The ball goes in the middle. The defense contracts, and he gets another open look.
4 threes for Deshaun Butler. 12 points now. 21-17. West Virginia shooting a very high percentage. 8 of 15.
And it's about the patience once they get it into the front court. The patience to run their stuff, to pass the ball and get the best look.
Denman up short. Now Mazzulla in traffic. The kick. Ebanks this time. Off the heel. Mazzulla with a rebound. And a new shot clock for the Mountaineers. Deshaun Butler again for 3. And the rebound goes to Taylor. Quick outlet Dixon. He's got Ramsey the trailer. Finds a cutting Taylor. Wraps it around and stolen away by Ebanks.
And now the speed seems to be working against Missouri as they're rushing the ball up. West Virginia doing a nice job of getting back. And Missouri essentially out of rhythm right now offensively.
Deshaun to Ebanks, 14-footer. Count it.
And that's the patience once again in the 2-3 matchup zone. Same principles. Get it to that sweet spot as you move the ball inside out, side to side.
Ramsey's been very quiet after the monster game against Clemson. Dixon finds him. He can't hold on. Take it away, Missoula. Here comes Missoula into the front court. Nice left-hand dribble. And has it swatted out of bounds. We'll stay right here.
Well, here's a success that West Virginia's had. Right here, the ball goes in the middle to Thurman. He's here. He sees the open guys around, finds the open man. And Deshaun Butler delivers. Several opportunities for that middleman to find open people as this Missouri defense essentially kind of cheats on the strong side. Looking to deflect passes. You look opposite or you look in the corners, you're going to find some open people.
Wellington Smith and Casey Mitchell checking the game for the Mountaineers. Baseline Jones, who's been quiet offensively in this game. 2 points, shot clock at 3. Mitchell. And a foul coming up, and this will go against, I believe, Ramsey, and it will be his second.
Well, we talk about Deshaun Butler delivering, and it's about points as he's got his jump shot on today. A little bit off the other day against Morgan State. Deshaun Butler's come to play. Only 9.6 rebounds against Morgan State, but essentially the Mountaineers didn't need him. Today they need him, and the Butler's on time.
So Ramsey goes to the bench. Keith Ramsey with 2 fouls. Under 8 to go. New shot clock for the Mountaineers. Mitchell, Butler, Smith, Missoula, Jones. Now Missoula guarded by Zaire Taylor. Baseline, Butler gets to the cup, hands in the air, had it blocked, picked up, Dixon.
Look at the job West Virginia's done to get back defensively.
Inside Tiller, and he blew a chip.
Opportunity for a layup, but on the initial transition, 4 white shirts back on defense. Good hustle.
7:15 to play, first half.
Well, if Butler can't deliver at all, sometimes he gets rejected. Hurt his feelings, huh?
Tomorrow, Dave's all new with Greg Kinnear, Michael Bublé, and a top 10 with the early show's Harry Smith, followed by the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, only CBS.
Well, we talk about a lot of the surprises, but this is a surprise. 2 Pac-10 teams remain. Cal and Washington, teams that a lot of folks didn't think would even get there. The SEC teams, we know about Kentucky, but excellent job by Bruce Pearl to
Right
keep
now,
his team in it.
And right now, Michigan State leads Maryland by 7 in the first half.
I knew eventually you'd mention it.
This University of Maryland graduate that's sitting next to me, Len Elmore.
But speaking of ironies right here, it's West Virginia taking most of the benefit from the battle of turnovers. 4 Missouri turnovers. West Virginia's got 7 points off those turnovers, as opposed to 1 turnover by West Virginia and 0 points off turnovers for Missouri.
And one thing about West Virginia, they're a very good offensive rebounding team, especially with the ball. When the ball goes up and Ebanks is close to the vicinity, he can really get up. Missoula, Jones, that 15-footer was open all day on Friday, 20 to shoot. Tapped by Tiller, the Tasmanian Devil, out of bounds, and will head the other way.
Well, we certainly talk about West Virginia. Could have been a 1 seed, but now as a 2, still have a chance. It's all about offensive rebounding. They rebound 42% of their misses. Continue to take it to Devin Ebanks, the most versatile guy out there. And when they get a chance to hit free throws, they certainly have to do that. This is a team that shoots pretty well, 70%. They get to the basket a lot, and they get fouled a lot.
Taylor, deep jumper. Got it. Zaire Taylor, very patient in their first round loss. He only took one shot, had 3 points. But he can heat up and score points in bunches. 3-point game. De'Jon Butler ready to check back in. He has 12, 4 threes. Smith almost dragged his pivot foot, 7 to shoot. Look at Missouri getting after it. Mitchell off the glass. No. Ebanks kept it alive. Jones, no. Out of bounds. And Mizzou gets it again. But you see the quick jumping Mountaineers.
That's right. 6 offensive rebounds. Take a look at Casey Mitchell on the drive. And Kevin Jones continues the battle on the offensive glass. Kevin Jones was 3rd in the Big East in offensive rebounds per game at about 3.5 per. And again, that's getting the job done, recognizing when your teammates are going to shoot and getting to that spot on the weak side, commanding that spot.
Taylor crosses over, gets to the basket, comes up short. However, ball hits the floor. Missoula grabs it. Jump ball is the call, and it favors the Mountaineers. How do you handle this kind of pressure if you're a guard when you have guys coming at you so quickly and so aggressively?
Well, first of all, you've got possession of the ball. Be strong with it. You got to wrap that ball up, but you also have to be looking beyond the double team to find open players. If you have a chance to split the double, you do it. If not, you know, you got to do some tricky things, look the guys off, but deliver that pass hard. But the most important thing is to be strong with the ball. And again, you had West Virginia trying to call a timeout on that possession, not knowing that the possession arrow was in their favor.
Smith called for the foul as he and Tiller go after the loose ball, so Wellington picks up his second.
You know, I'd make it mandatory if I'm a coach, guys coming out of the huddle to know which way that possession arrow is going, so you don't waste the timeout. A timeout you might want to use or might need to use in the second half, or actually at the end of this first half, or certainly in the second half.
23-20, Mountaineers. Zaire Taylor from Staten Island, New York. Once upon a time was homeless. Jump shot. Ebanks kicks it out. Missoula in transition, poked away from behind. But Zaire Taylor's story is an incredible story. He started his career at Delaware, didn't really like the program, decided not to play. He lost his scholarship, and because he lost his scholarship, he ended up losing his housing. So for a brief time, he didn't have any place to stay, so he would go to the computer lab, put on a hoodie, and just pretend like he was studying and sleep there. He didn't tell his mom what had happened. He got his cell phone turned off. Eventually, he had a chance to call the Missouri coaches. They had been looking for him, and they said, "We have a scholarship for you." He just graduated and is in graduate school as we speak. So a great story on a great young man.
I'll tell you what, for every young man that takes playing college basketball, playing any college sport, and the scholarship that they receive for granted, this is a story that often needs to be repeated.
I talked to him yesterday in the hotel at the restaurant. He said now he's looking for a book publishing deal. He wants to write his story, and also he's a poet. He's putting together a collection of poems and wants to get them out into the world. Second free throw, Butler. 25-20 Butler. 14 points in the first half. 4 minutes to play. Baseline Bowers. Now Taylor. Oh, nice handoff. And Bowers with the lay-in.
Textbook read of the defense, make the backline guy commit, and your teammate makes himself available, and you get it to him on time. You know, except for that particular play, you'd say otherwise West Virginia defense has been pretty strong. And the fact that they haven't turned the ball over hasn't given Missouri the extra opportunities that they thrive on.
Tiller. Now English, in and out, down the lane, rejected by Flowers. Picked up by Moore, 20 to shoot.
Big fella handling it.
English jump shot. Count it. Uh-oh. Kimmy English starting to burn it up a little bit now. Ties the game at 25, 3 minutes to play in the first half.
And just when I laud the West Virginia defense, starting to break down a little bit as open looks.
Inside, Butler, rejected, picked up. Taylor, he's got English on the wing, and he's fouled from behind.
You got to believe now that this pressure is starting to wear West Virginia down here in the first half. And it's all about the defense, the dribble, the drive, the find, and then the open look by Kim English. The Tigers coming back.
Run your fantasy baseball league with the award-winning fantasy baseball commissioner. Try it for free at cbssports.com/commissioner. 2:46 to play in the first half. We're all tied up at 25 apiece. West Virginia, the number 2 seed out of the Big East Conference, taking on the Missouri Tigers. A 10. Missouri upsetting, small upset, Clemson in the first round.
I'll tell you what, we talked about the pressure, and initially West Virginia just handling that pressure very well. Started the game 6 of 10 from the field, but since they're only 3 of 17, and you got to believe that the constant pressure applied by Missouri may be taking a toll here in the first half. Slowing down the legs, slowing down West Virginia mentally, but here on a defensive play right now, they got a chance for a high percentage shot.
Ebanks blocked. Whoa, Bowers just threw it. And that one deflected off the Mountaineers. Game tied at 25, 2:18 to play. First half, West Virginia, the top seeded team at number 2 against Missouri, a number 10. West Virginia is led by as many as 8.
And Missouri has kind of survived hot shooting by West Virginia initially to kind of crawl their way back to a tie.
Flowers, offensive foul. It's a good call, Jim Burr. One of the great officials in all of college basketball underneath the basket on the play. And Flowers picks up his first.
And we talk about wearing you down physically. Well, sometimes it wears you down mentally, although Flowers hasn't been in the game that long. But that was a kind of a mental error. A little too aggressive to the basket, a little bit out of control. Just enough to get the charge.
Now the pick and roll, Zaire Taylor, he'll take a jump shot. Loose ball, Bowers kept it alive. Bowers, and a new shot clock for the Tigers, who are looking for their first lead of the game. Bowers. Back door. English had to throw it back in bounds. And a foul on Bowers. So let's take a look at the East Region bracket.
Well, the winner of this game goes on to play the surprising Washington Huskies, who defeated New Mexico. And I'll tell you what, you get that wide open style and the athletes that Lorenzo Romar has assembled for the Huskies. This is their kind of tournament.
And they have had some great athletes at Washington under Romar over the last few years.
It's their kind of tournament because they've been able to employ those athletes against teams that like to get up and down. New Mexico being one of them.
Romar has had guys like Brandon Roy and Nate Robinson.
So you know they like to play wide open.
No doubt about it. 27-25, 1:14 to go. Dixon, 7 points in the first half off the bench. With Taylor, Bowers, also Steve Moore, and Marcus Denman. Here's a high pick and roll. Denman guarded by Ebanks. That's a tough guard for him. Dixon pops out of the corner with the step on the baseline. The kick. Denman, rise and fire. Short. Taylor up. And he's too long, and a whistle and foul coming up. And that will allow West Virginia to shoot 1-1 again.
We talk about one of West Virginia's keys to continue to advance is that they got to knock down free throws. They're going to get their opportunities. Big, strong team that likes to play in the paint. They don't mind battling on the boards. Shooting almost 70% as a team. Butler is 77% free throw shooter. So taking opportunities of the easy ones, of the free ones, is a key to West Virginia going deep in this tournament.
Deshaun Butler has been clutch all year, hit 2 game winners in the Big East tournament, and a game winner late in the season at Villanova. 3-point game, 38 seconds to play as Tiller brings it in the front court.
And the reason I said it, I mean, it's obvious you want to hit your free throws, but this is a team that gets an awful lot of free throw attempts.
Dixon in the corner, rims out. Flowers with a rebound. And West Virginia will play for 1 shot. Shot clock turned off. Game clock at 17. Truck Bryant, 8 seconds. Gives it up to Butler, and oh, a blocking foul. And that will send Deshaun to the line. Is this a block or a charge, Len?
Well, Deshaun Butler,
he put his head down.
Doesn't matter if he puts his head down, you still, the defender is allowed to run parallel with you. Can't break the plane, and that's the only argument you might be able to make, that using that left arm, Butler broke that plane and made contact. But otherwise, it just looked as though that the legal guarding position that Dixon had set up, wasn't enough to warrant the charge.
With Jones out of the game, Butler 6 of 7 from the free throw line.
I should say the guarding position Dixon thought he had set up.
And he's got 19 in the first half. 6.6 to go. Here comes the speedster Dixon quickly over the midcourt line. Hard to the bucket, left hand up, off the glass, no. And that'll be the end of the first half. 30-25, Mountaineers up by 5 points. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel in New York with AT&T at the half after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the Men's NCAA Basketball Championship exclusively on CBS Sports.
CBS Sports exclusive college basketball coverage is sponsored by Bud Light, The Hartford, Lowe's, and by Chevy.
Welcome back to Buffalo. Halftime. West Virginia, the number 2 seed, on top of Missouri, 30-25. Gus Johnson, along with Len Elmore, your reaction to the first half?
Well, it's been solid ball handling by West Virginia, as well as their frequency at the free throw line that's gotten them this 5-point lead.
All right, let's take a look at the box score. And Behind the Stats is presented by LG. For more in-depth analysis of the game, watch CBS College Sports Network's continuing coverage of the NCAA tournament.
Well, you take a look at the key right there, the 3 points off turnovers, keeping Missouri in check. But Deshaun Butler has been the guy for West Virginia, and he's doing it behind the lines, plural. Certainly from behind the three-point line, 4 of 7 from behind the arc, and 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Missouri, not a lot of transition opportunities. This is one of them. Only 3 points off of turnovers. They like to get turnovers to get out in the open floor and run. West Virginia hasn't cooperated. They've only turned the ball over 3 times.
So we start the second half. Missouri with the basketball. Zaire Taylor, English, Bowers, Ramsey with 2 fouls. And Tiller on the court for the Tigers. Inside Ramsey, great catch. Left hand comes up way short, but it's tracked down by Bowers. And a new shot clock for Mizzou.
And it bears repeating, West Virginia has been outstanding defensively during this 7-game win streak, only allowing 60 points a game during those 7 games.
Woo, what a play by English as he double clutched it in. Kim English with 8 points, and the lead is down to 3. Here's the press, broken easily. Ebanks, Truck Bryant, Deshaun Butler, Wellington Smith, and Jones on the court for the Mountaineers. Ebanks up, no, out of bounds, and the Mountaineers will hold on.
Well, you look at the drive right here. Somebody's got to generate some offense for Missouri, shooting 10 of 26 up until then, 38%. They're not getting the offense off of their defense, so they've got to be able to play half court until they can solve this West Virginia ball handling. Flip side of it is West Virginia firmly in control right now, not giving away easy opportunities that Missouri usually thrives on.
Jones in trouble on the sideline, and a timeout called by Bob Huggins from the bench. 19 on the shot clock, 30-27 Mountaineers. Back after this.
Well, as you can see, of the other Big East teams left in the NCAA tournament, 5 have gone down. Syracuse, Pittsburgh, and right here West Virginia remain. And the question is whether West Virginia can advance. And to do that, I've always believed they had to control the tempo here, which includes minimize turnovers. They've had to control the boards and finally get balance on offense from their front line. 2 of those 3 have occurred. Tempo control and board control.
And a foul quickly off the inbounds as Jones gets whacked.
But in this game, Deshaun Butler with 19 points, he's got to get some help from Ebanks and Jones, who haven't really made their presence felt.
So Jones at the line. The winner of this game will take on Washington in Syracuse.
It's Kevin Jones' 3rd point right there. And we talked about balance on the front line. He and Devin Ebanks need to take some of the pressure off of Deshaun Butler as far as putting points on the board for West Virginia.
And he misses the second. Knocked out of bounds. Looks like Butler got a hand on it. So 31-27. West Virginia. As the Tigers bring it the other way, Tiller, Bowers, Kim English, Ramsey, Zaire Taylor. Tiller down the lane, high off the glass, no but a foul. West Virginia is in a drought from the field over the last 10 minutes. Missouri putting a lot of pressure on them defensively. They've gotten their points from the line as JT prepares to shoot 2. Foul on the play on Ebanks. That's his first. NCAA March Madness On Demand is streaming every game from the NCAA Championship online for free. Watch any game from the tournament live at NCAA.com.
It's only the 4th free throw attempt for Missouri, and you got to give them credit. You know, their mainstay turning people over, getting 30% of their points and points off turnovers. That's been taken away from them by pretty good West Virginia ball handling, but they've hung in playing good half-court offense.
Ebanks guarded by Taylor. Look at the versatility of Ebanks, but he's called for a 5-second call.
And when we talk about the pressure wearing you down physically as well as mentally, that was one of the the brain locks, if you will. Getting called for 5 seconds with just a little bit of pressure on you. No one from West Virginia made themselves available. Ebanks pounding the ball too much.
English. Tiller, 15-footer, way off the mark, but he gets his own rebound. No, it's out of bounds. As Mike Anderson helps him up.
Appreciates the hustle. Ouch.
And that's what the NCAA tournament is all about.
It certainly is about hustle. It's about floor burns. Lay it out.
Extra effort. 31-29. Deshaun Butler getting a lot of attention now. He's posting, draws a double. Bryant is scoreless as he backs it up. 10 to shoot, drives, and an offensive foul on Truck Bryant.
Boy, Truck Bryant can't catch a break. Right here, trying to make something happen, trying to create for himself. An outstanding defense, getting position right there. Excellent job done by Kim English.
Ramsey driving on Thurman. Stops, jump hook, gets it back. No call. Bowers, 12-footer, gets it again, and is fouled from behind.
Boy, uncharacteristic. West Virginia giving up so many offensive rebounds. Normally it's their opportunities that help them, but here, Missouri aggressive, tenacious. Despite getting their shots blocked, they keep coming at you.
Lawrence Bowers off the mark on the first free throw. West Virginia substituting Thurman out of the game. Lawrence Bowers one more. And he can't get it.
Bowers with just 6 points in this particular game at 15 Friday night against Clemson. And again, a lot of them were in transition, where West Virginia not giving Missouri enough of an opportunity to start piling up the transition points.
Ebanks off the dribble and a whistle. So scoring in this tournament, Butler, Ebanks, Jones.
Well, a different story. Friday, Deshaun Butler wasn't necessarily needed because of superlative games by Ebanks and Jones. But today, Deshaun Butler shows up, and he's holding up Ebanks and Jones on his back. Hopefully, they'll come alive for him, kind of take that pressure off.
West Virginia hitting free throws today, 9 of 12. Ebanks was 8 of 8 in the first game against Morgan State. From the free throw line. And he gets both. 4-point game.
And as I said, give Missouri credit. West Virginia has controlled the tempo for the most part of this game, forcing Missouri to grind it out. And somehow they have.
Ramsey missed the layup, but he gets the rebound. Bowers couldn't get it to go.
Second consecutive possession where Missouri's getting multiple second chance opportunities.
English three. That's a brick. Rebounded by Smith.
Tough possession. You work so hard and you come away with nothing.
Butler, Jones, and a foul.
It's quite a different ball game right now, whereas on Friday against Clemson, the activity of the Missouri Tigers, particularly swiping at the ball, digging and stripping, not getting away with it today.
West Virginia has made this a half-court basketball game, so they're playing to their strengths because of their ability to control the rock. They've turned it over only 5 times. And the first one good. Tonight on CBS, The Amazing Race, the team hits France. An all-new episode tonight after 60 minutes, only CBS. Second free throw, no good. The rebound to English. Here comes Kim English to Tiller. Down the lane. Bad shot. Bryant with Butler. Butler back to Bryant. Truck Bryant to the basket and banks it in.
Mountaineers showing a little transition of their own, as when they have an advantage break, they'll push it up the floor and take advantage.
How can rice production in India affect wheat output in the U.S., the shipping industry in Norway, and the rubber industry in South America? At T. Rowe Price, we understand the connections of a complex global economy. It's just one reason over 75% of our mutual funds beat their 10-year Lipper average. Information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Well, the fastest 40 minutes in basketball seems to have occurred on Friday. Today, that 40 minutes for Missouri, they feel like they're stuck in mud right now, as West Virginia doing an outstanding job in taking care of the Missouri average on the season. And you can see the strain on Mike Anderson's face, knowing his team's not playing their basketball game, and the belief that if they did get it on track, they could close this deficit rather quickly.
So here comes Zaire Taylor. An open look hard to come by for Missouri. Keith Ramsey had 20 points in their last game against Clemson. Number 15, he's scoreless today. English somehow figured out a way to bank that one in.
Somehow avoided scrutiny. That looked like a charge right there.
10 points for Kim English, 5-point game. Now Butler leaves his feet to Bryant. In the front court, Smith, Bryant, Butler, Ebanks, Jones. Ball kicked. And I think Truck Bryant has done a really nice job, Lynn. 15:27 to play second half. Back after this.
And Lenny.
All right, Greg, so some very interesting games taking place right now. Ohio State on top of Georgia Tech as well. Our score here, 36-31, West Virginia with the lead. A 2 versus a 10. Mountaineers in white with the basketball. Chuck Bryant has done a fine job, the point guard, with it right now. Down the lane, left hand up and in.
Well, he needs to find some confidence, and it's plays like that that'll buoy that confidence. He's kind of been in the doghouse, not able to put points on the board, not able to hit shots. But he's played flawlessly from a ball handling standpoint, hasn't turned it over.
Zaire Taylor with the jumper in the corner. That cuts it to 4. Taylor with 2 threes in this game, 6 points. Now Butler brings it up.
And we talked about the bigs for West Virginia. Butler and certainly Ebanks with the size and the ball handling skill to thwart that Missouri pressure.
Ebanks with the jump shot across the lane. 6-point game inside. Ramsey fouled, and he will go to the line.
Well, that wasn't Truck Bryant's fault. And take a look on the baseline. They just leave the big fella. He comes in, stands right under the middle. And it looks like Devin Ebanks was the guy that left the guy inside to follow his man to the corner. You're a big man, and there's a guy in the paint. Forget about your man. You're protecting the basket. And he left his own man, Truck Bryant, out to dry.
Dixon back in. Ramsey with his first point of the game after scoring 20 in the first round against Clemson. Missouri not hitting free throws. 40-35. West Virginia with the lead over Missouri here in the second half. Missoula is checked in. Jones posting, now facing, fires, and hits.
Well, here it comes right now. We talked about Deshaun Butler carried his team in the first half. And the need for his other frontline partners to start emerging offensively. Both Jones and Ebanks are doing just that.
English strip, but it's last touched by the Mountaineers. West Virginia is led by as many as 8. Now English driving, firing, out of bounds, and again Mizzou will keep it, and a new 35. The winner will take on Washington.
Surprising Washington Huskies. Another double-digit seed, getting ready to advance, or hoping to advance beyond the Sweet 16.
Denman just checked in, finds Bowers. Dixon had 7 points in the first half off the bench.
Boy, how solid is the West Virginia defense, just forcing Missouri to grind it out.
Dixon up and in, counted on the foul.
And no sooner did I say that than Michael Dixon comes in with his quickness to break down the defense. So far, so good until Dixon sees a path. And Mazzillo there too late. Mazzillo usually is the guy who steps up and takes the charges.
So Michael Dixon is providing a lot of offense. Mike Anderson has to make a decision. He brings him in the game late. He is a freshman, but right now he's their best offensive player. along with Kim English. He has 10. English has 10. He speeds up the tempo.
And he's also looking for the opportunity to put pressure on the defense by putting it on the floor and driving instead of settling for the jumper.
Butler quiet in the second half, pushed off there, got away with it. Kevin Jones calling for it in the left corner. Now Ebanks, jump shot. 12:59 to play, second half, 42-38. West Virginia a 2, taking on Missouri at 10. Mountaineers have led by as many as 8, but the Tigers of Missouri refuse to go away.
Yeah, West Virginia, for the most part, controlling tempo, controlling the boards, and now starting to get balance on their front line, but Missouri still grinds it out.
Been a scrappy game, 42-38. West Virginia with the lead. They've led by as many as 8, but the Missouri Tigers out of the Big 12 Conference at 10 refuse to let West Virginia pull away. Missouri starting to increase their intensity on defense. Missoula down the lane, wraps it around, and Kevin Jones.
Well,
8 points for Jones.
With the gambling of Missouri, West Virginia makes them pay. Once again, exploiting the opening. And on the other end, defensively, West Virginia continues to control the tempo by playing a solid half-court defense. But Michael Dixon, as he did in the first half, injecting energy and putting up some points.
So here we go, 44-41, baseline Jones, and he rattles in another one as he pumps his chest. 47-41, Taylor kicks it out. Dixon thought about it. Turns the corner. Ramsey jump hook. Won't go. Missoula, cross court. Butler downtown. Oh, he's fouled behind the three-point line. And the freshman makes a huge mistake. Coming up, Deshaun Butler will shoot 3. West Virginia up by 6.
Youthful enthusiasm gets them in trouble.
Back after this. All right, a look at the East region first and second rounds. The winner of this game will take on Washington, who defeated New Mexico. Lorenzo Romar's team doing a spectacular job to advance to the Sweet 16. So Missouri, West Virginia right now with Deshaun Butler at the line shooting 3. And the first one good. Tomorrow on CBS, March Madness continues with TV's #1 comedy. Catch a new episode of 2.5 Men tomorrow, only CBS. And Butler has been terrific at the line, 9 of 10 today. And make it 10 of 11. Largest lead of the game now for West Virginia. Tiller.
Right now, Missouri obviously trying to make a decision as to how they want to attack the West Virginia defense. It's too easy to shoot those jumpers. You got to get back to putting it on the floor, moving the ball, trying to make the defense move and get to the basket, create some foul situations.
Now Ebanks hands it off to Butler, lets it fly. Way off the mark, out of bounds. And Mizzou gets it once again. So 50-41, largest lead for West And their defense has been very good today.
one of the barometers is the fact that Keith Ramsey, who Friday had a career-high 20 points, 8 rebounds, is 0 for 6 from the field, just 1 point. Hasn't really contributed anything. Some of that has to do with the flawless ball handling or near flawless ball handling of West Virginia. Only 5 turnovers, only 3 Missouri points off those turnovers. And the bigs for Missouri score when they get out and run in transition, usually off of steals.
Dixon got it. This kid's really playing well, Lynn. Only a freshman, but he's playing with the poise, a confidence, and a speed that is helping to keep Mizzou in this game.
Well, he's 6 of 8 from the field, and he's injected some energy on both ends of the floor. As we said, that foul on Deshaun Butler that gave him 3 shots was a little bit of youthful enthusiasm, and that's what Missouri needs, enthusiasm, energy.
Inside, Thurman, nice play from Missoula.
As we said, Thurman scoring, that's a bonus for West Virginia. He's in there for toughness, for rebounding. He's in there to frustrate opposing big men.
4 points for Thurman. 52-43. Dixon again, hard down the baseline. And a foul on Thurman.
We take a look again, good ball movement. Just on the top, Missoula turns and faces. That's the important thing, turns and faces, locates the defense. And Thurman all by himself.
So Thurman, nice work. Heads to the bench with 9:30 to play in the second half. Zaire Taylor back in. Denman heads to the bench. Missouri looking for that second score. Actually, that third score with Kim English on the bench right now. He has 10. Dixon leading him with 15. Dixon for 3. Rebound inside and foul. Tiller, right place, right time for the rebound.
Well, some of the things that have kept Missouri in the game has been offensive rebounding, but more importantly, energy by this young man right here, who's been able to knock down threes, get involved in creating some deflections, trying to get Missouri some easy baskets, but the young'un has got to get some folks to follow him.
Smith picked up his 3rd foul for West Virginia. And Tiller with 2. 7-point game. Now that'll allow Missouri to set up the press, but it hasn't paid any dividends for him at all.
Now just 3 points off of 5 West Virginia turnovers. Normally, Missouri gets 30% of their scoring from points off turnovers. Vastly under that number today.
Missoula blocked, picked up. Taylor, Dixon's ahead of the field. Tiller. Oh, taken away by Deshaun Butler, but stolen by Tiller and a foul. Tiller's got to give that ball up.
And he's got to give it up early, too. Dixon on the opposite side. 3-on-1 break right here. You look at Dixon on the opposite side, poised to take a jump shot. Instead, Tiller tries to challenge Deshaun Butler. And today, is there anything that Butler can't do?
Very good. Ebanks, baseline. Jones has been hot. That's almost an air ball. Now Tiller gives it up to the freshman. He fires a 3. Tap to the air.
And as often as a ball went in for Keith Ramsey on Friday, that's how poorly he's playing today.
8:25 to go. 52-45. Now Deshaun posting, spins, lost it. Dixon, and he's fouled.
We referenced the poor day Keith Ramsey's had. You take a look at what he's been able to contribute. Very little on the offensive end. Kim English, Michael Dixon, really the only one who is stepping up and rising to the challenge of the West Virginia defense.
So now Missouri goes to the line. That's the 8th team foul against the Mountaineers with 8:18 to go. So Missouri shooting 1-1. Dixon at the line. Free throws down the stretch.
Flip side of it is Missouri has 1 to play with. They've only got 5 team fouls.
Missouri as a team, 7 of 12 from the stripe. West Virginia, folks, 15 of 19. 10 to shoot. Smith. Butler shows. Down the lane. Runner off the window. That's a big-time play.
Well, he makes big-time shots. 6 game winners this year, including 2 in the Big East Championship. He's the go-to guy. Things break down. Deshaun is the one you look for.
Taylor 3. No, but the tip jam by Ramsey. And a timeout, West Virginia. And Bob Huggins screams off the bench. Deshaun Butler, though.
I'm a shrimp blogger. I've traveled the globe to find the perfect prawn. So when I found out Taco Bell had Pacific shrimp tacos with 6 succulent marinated shrimp, I had to try one immediately. The new Pacific shrimp taco, only at Taco Bell.
Well, here's the reason Bob Huggins erupted off the bench. Take it, Devin Ebanks is the guy who just didn't block out. He was just getting ready to go after the ball and allowed Ramsey to beat him to it, put it back. And Bob Huggins erupted like Mount Etna.
Vesuvius. 54-47. West Virginia, though, still in complete control of this game. As Missoula inbounds it in the backcourt. Missoula under control at all times.
Yeah, he just surveyed the pressure, the double team coming, treated him like one person and went around him.
And out of bounds, 7:15 to go. 54-47, back after this. And here's the game summary by half.
Well, again, you take a look at Missouri, still not able to get back to their staple, which is turning people over and getting points off turnovers. We mentioned 30% of their points on the season have come from turnovers, and West Virginia just doing an even better job of getting the high percentage shots.
Got to credit the man inbounding the ball. Missoula along with Truck Bryant and Ebanks, they've handled the pressure extremely well.
Well, the whole scheme that Bob Huggins has developed in getting their bigs in the backcourt and having them handle it is helpful.
Blocked by Ramsey. Outlet Tiller. Tiller with Missoula back. And this time he'll pull it up. Baseline. English. He'll take it. No timely baskets for Mizzou.
I'll tell you what, some of these shots, they dropped Friday. They're getting good looks now, but Missouri's got to make a move immediately. West Virginia very adept at holding on to a lead.
Butler inside. Missoula left hand, no. Jones takes it away from him, and jump ball is the call. And it favors the Mountaineers. Good tie-up, good no call by the official.
But good aggressive offensive rebounding by Kevin Jones, and we talked about West Virginia's ability to go get it. They get 42% of their errant shots, and that is a definite advantage.
And a new shot clock as well. Butler knocked away. Missoula tried to throw it inside to Jones. Jones, he'll bring it back out with 10 to shoot. Missoula, 7 to shoot. Butler splits the defense. No, picked up Ramsey, front court. Bowers to the basket, finger roll, no. Rebounded Taylor, and a foul. Wow, what a scramble.
Well, you're right about a scramble. The ball is loose. Missouri comes up with it. And what it comes down to is Missouri with more guys manning the offensive glass than West Virginia getting back defensively. And Deshaun Butler hit the deck pretty hard in an attempt to try to split the defense.
But the Tigers can't hit free throws. 7 of 13. And make that Taylor gets the second.
And Missouri is 73% free throw shooting team on the year. And sometimes when you're playing games like this, 2 games in 3 days, even though you're trying to wear the other guy down, it may have a tendency to affect you.
There's a turnover, Tiller. And a blocking foul coming up. Missouri really amping it up on defense.
Well, they know they have to make a move right now. And off that turnover, Tiller's got to take it straight to the basket. Yeah, he avoided the offensive foul, but you got to keep your head up. I know it's easier said than done, but watch the layup. Kind of takes his eye off the basket as he's about to hit the deck.
First free throw good for J.T. Tiller. Now Thurman comes in. Wellington Smith heads to the bench. He has 4. 54-49. Second free throw, in and out.
Boy, you talk about jump shots going in and out. You talk about free throws rattling the rim. But Missouri, this is a team that recognizes they've got to create their own breaks, even when sometimes those breaks go against them, and they've been fortunate to do that throughout the season. There's another.
Steal, English finds Tiller. And Tiller fouled going to the basket. This is Missoula. Now the turnover's starting to come. Why are they effective now, turning West Virginia over?
Well, I'm sure it's a combination of a bit of fatigue on the part of West Virginia, even though they've had the tempo go their favor. But also Missouri has had to amp it up. They don't have another chance. It's one and done. And, you know, you rest tomorrow, rest after the game.
54-49, West Virginia with the lead. Missouri has had all sorts of opportunities, but they have been painful from the free throw line. 9 of 17.
And you're looking at a 77% free throw shooter in J.T. Tiller, who barely grazed the rim.
Gets the second. 4-point game. The winner to move on to Syracuse to take on Washington.
And that miss of the first free throw by Tiller just leads me to believe that as hard as Missouri's been working, it's starting to take its toll on them as much as it is West Virginia.
And Ramsey fouling Missoula. That's his third. 16 fouls against the Tigers. So it'll be sideline out of bounds. Jones posting. Thurman, he won't shoot it from there. Ebanks. And a foul. .54-50, West Virginia with the lead. Mountaineers have led by as many as 9. But Missouri trying to come back in this game.
And normally Missouri is the team that will outwork you, out-hustle you, wear you down. But in this game, in the last couple of minutes, we've seen signs of Missouri possibly getting tired. Getting to the free throw line, shooting the ball short from the line, you know, missing on layup opportunities where they can finish, and now playing defense, reaching as they're playing one-on-one defense instead of moving their feet and getting the position.
And the story of this game, folks, free throw shooting. West Virginia as a team, 17 of 21. Missouri, 10 of 18.
Got to see if Missouri has anything left in their tank.
They've spent a lot of energy trying to get back in this game. Now West Virginia with the zone.
And remember, West Virginia played Morgan, had a pretty easy time of it, had guys get an opportunity to rest. Missouri had to play Clemson the whole way.
Taylor, big time three. And we have a three-point game. 56-53, and a foul in the backcourt. And now it will be 1-and-1 shooting for the Mountaineers.
Well, we talked about expending a lot of energy trying to create turnovers. And finally here in the second half, towards the end of the second half, as Missouri had success in turning West Virginia over. Prior to that, West Virginia had limited Missouri for about 3/4 of this game to just 3 points off turnovers. And it's just been in the last couple of minutes that West Virginia has yielded.
Dejon Butler has had a monster game, 24 points, 6 rebounds. He's 10 of 11 from the line, shooting 1-and-1 here. Now the winner of this game will take on Washington and Syracuse, New York next week. And he gets a pair.
Man, what a luxury to have an experienced, skilled player like Dejon Butler, not afraid to take big shots. And now you see West Virginia going to their 1-3-1, try to get Missouri out of rhythm. Hope that they're going to take some long shots, lower percentage shots.
He banks the point man. Taylor goes up high, 14 to shoot. English. Oh, Ramsey can't get it to fall. And Butler with the rebound.
West Virginia lucky on that one. That 1-3-1 is vulnerable to offensive rebounding, especially when you got high flyers like Missouri, but no connection. And West Virginia can come out and try to shorten this game a little bit.
Mazzulla, baseline, Jones. West Virginia so patient offensively. They've handled the pressure with ease most of the game. Butler, shot clock winding down. Kicks, Mazzulla, big shot, in and out. And the foul. 3:20 to go, back after this. CY NCIS is TV's #1 drama Tuesday, only CBS. 58-53 West Virginia. As we take a look at the game reset, Missouri with 3 timeouts left, West Virginia with 2. Both teams in the bonus. And the possession arrow favoring Mizzou. Offensive rebounding has been a key for the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Well, it certainly has, and it has been all year. West Virginia's second in the Big East in offensive rebounds at about 15.5 per game. And we mentioned before, 42% of their missed shots are grabbed on the offensive glass, so they've made that a habit, and this is when these habits pay off.
Ebanks missing the first.
Missouri also playing that game as well. They've got 15 offensive rebounds, and they actually, and ironically, lead West Virginia on the offensive glass. So West Virginia's made the most of it.
Second free throw rattling home for Ebanks. 59-53. And West Virginia gets back into that zone with Ebanks as the point man. He's very long. Wingspan of a condor. They did this against Villanova and threw Villanova at the end of the regular season out of their rhythm, but now foul. Overzealous play by the Mountaineers. Trapping Tiller in the corner, and now Tiller will go to the line.
And you're right about being overzealous. When you get a guy trapped like that, you got this lead. You know, you just keep your position. Keep your hands up, let your hands follow the ball instead of reaching.
So Tiller at the free throw line. First one good. Tiller, 8 of 11 from the stripe.
They were talking about the irony from Missouri. They've got 15 second chance points. Normally that's the province of West Virginia getting second chance points. West Virginia, on the other hand, 11 offensive rebounds, only 6 second chance points.
So here we go down the stretch, folks. Under 3. The winner to advance to Syracuse.
Both teams applying zone pressure. Missouri with their matchup.
Thurman, a good passer from this position when he flashes across. Mazzulla's been able to get into the lane. Butler needs a screen, takes a jumper, air ball. Ramsey goes up high, outlet, Taylor, diagonal, offensive foul. Great play by Missouri. As he slide.
It was the last time he launched a shot as well. Only a 3-second differential between shot and game clock. Green. That's a 2. It's a 1-point game with 20 seconds left and no timeouts remaining for Maryland. And obviously Vasquez has got to engineer something. Player of the year, taking it right at Morgan. Right at Raymar Morgan. 6.6 left. Draymond Green finds Lucius for the win. He got it! Spartans move to the Sweet 16. They will have to check the clock to make absolutely certain.
I don't know that Tom Izzo, and he is hugging Kalen Lucas right now. I don't know that he understands what's going on.
Now he did decide to put it on the deck with the ball fake, Mike. It should count.
That's good. That's good.
Michigan State advances to St. Louis. Meet me in St. Louis. Judy Garland couldn't sing it any better than this nylon song from Corey Lucius, in for Kalen Lucas.
Played most of the second half, really had to step up as a ball handler, and what a great shot. It didn't rush it, had a lot of calm about him, Tim, with the clock winding down.
What a great show of sportsmanship by these two teams. Gary Williams, one of the remarkable NCAA tournament coaches, a national championship on his resume. And of course, Tom Izzo, compiling win number 33 against 11 defeats, all at Michigan State.
2:03 to play, second half. West Virginia with a 60-55 lead over Missouri.
West Virginia keeps holding on, coming up with big plays, a big rebound, getting to the free throw line and knocking down the free throws as they should. Another big rebound.
Time now on the side of the Mountaineers. Missoula down the lane, leads in and banks it home.
Well, there's an awful lot of contact on that one play. Could have been block or charge. Got to make those calls.
Zaire Taylor with a jump shot. No, he'll get another opportunity. Here's Dixon, throws it in the corner to Tiller. He fires and hits. And a timeout call by the Tigers of Missouri. 62-57, 1:25 to play. Back to Buffalo right after this.
There go like simple and plain as Pamela basic Zulu arrangement, blocking amazement, Flocko, radiant from heaven to pavement. They phony as a facelift from nothing to play with. Spend time hating it, but that ain't changing it. God give it to me, nobody is saying it.
Hey, I got your text. Just need to make one little stop along the way.
And a look at the game reset, Missouri and West Virginia. Both teams with a couple of timeouts, both teams in the double bonus.
And as many loose balls as we've had over the last couple of minutes. As I mentioned earlier, if I'm the coach, I'm going to make sure with the 2 timeouts that we have left, I'm going to make sure everybody knows where the possession arrow's going. If I'm West Virginia, I get tied up, I'm not even thinking about calling a timeout. And if I'm Missouri and there's a tie-up, it's the first thing on my mind because we're talking possession.
And the winner of this game takes on Washington in Syracuse. So Missouri picking up full court. Ebanks. Missoula. Thurlman. And foul. Nice way to break the press by the Mountaineers.
And they didn't back it out. They continue to attack. They know that they're shooting the free throws very well. You can put some more points on the board, create some distance.
(62-57) West Virginia. Mountaineers with Thurman at the line have done a great job from the stripe, 21 of 28. Different story for Missouri. They're 12 of 20 from the free throw line. But a lot of time left in this game. As Thurman misses both, offensive rebound, and stick back by Butler.
Boy, how many times has he done that? Big shot after big shot throughout this season. And again, outstanding job of getting free for that big rebound. As we mentioned before, that's been the key for West Virginia. Key plays, big rebounds, big shots.
Taylor off the mark. Jones with the board. His 10th. They get it to him in the front court. And he's fouled. But watch this offensive rebound.
Not fundamentally sound in trying to block out. And you take a look, he just gets around his man. Ramsey just doesn't put enough of a body on Deshaun Butler.
And now English is fouled out as both teams head back to the bench.
And I'm sure Mike Anderson in that huddle is looking backwards as to how they could miss blocking out. But he also has to look forward as to what his team has to do, make or miss. And you see Kim English, 10 points in this particular game. He was shut down by a rugged and solid half-court defense by West Virginia, and also the fact that West Virginia didn't turn the ball over enough to get the transition guys, of whom Kim English is one of them, for Missouri. But English with 20 points, 4 of 7 from beyond the arc against Clemson on Friday. We'll say he had a pretty decent tournament, but this is the one that counts, obviously.
Second free throw good for Jones. 45.5 to go. Tiller. Making Missouri work. Ramsey goes up with it, and Ebanks clears it. And Ebanks fouled.
But down the stretch when they needed it, West Virginia, the big rebounds, as we mentioned before, utilizing their size, utilizing the foot quickness. And throughout this day, it's been their big front line. Ebanks with 11, Jones with 11, and Deshaun Butler with a big 26 points. That's what's ruled today, along with pretty good ball handling.
But more importantly, the Mountaineers have hit their free throws when it's counted most. 23 of 31. Now remember, there was a time during the season where the Mountaineers were having some problems hitting free throws.
Well, they were having problems closing the deal. I mean, there were times they've given up big leads only to ultimately have to struggle to even win the game, and sometimes lost games. I know that triple overtime game against Pittsburgh earlier this year, they had that game won, and that was something Bob Huggins had lamented, but not now.
Leave it. Bowers inside, no. Ramsey there for the stick back with 18 seconds to go. And Missouri calls a timeout.
Mountaineers have learned how to close the deal.
18.3 remaining, 68-59, West Virginia.
Oh, and this one is tied up. Timeout, Boston.
Man, I wish this game would never end. Hey, send it into overtime. Yeah, no problem.
The pass up to Hampton for the win. Oh, he loses control. This one is going into overtime.
Buffalo Wild Wings, you have to be here.
Oh, unbelievable.
And let's take one last look at the game reset with 18.3 to go. 68-59, West Virginia. And the Mountaineers will inbound it in the backcourt. Ebanks, the inbounder, to Butler. Last guy you want to foul. Butler moves it into the front court. And now, looks like Missouri will back up. Butler holding on. So that will do it. West Virginia received a little scare, but in the end, they hit their free throws and defeat Missouri 68-59. So let's take a look at the bracket. This is what Syracuse will look like next week. Cornell, Kentucky, a 1-12. Washington, West Virginia, a 2-11. For Len Elmore, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from Buffalo. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel in New York. After this message and a word from your local station, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports, the exclusive home of the men's NCAA basketball championship.